Hello and welcome to this little channel. Today we're going to do corned beef hash. Now this is a Helena variant of corned beef hash. My mum was Centilenian and she used to make it all the time, and so I've inherited her skills in that respect. So I think the first thing we'll do is go through the ingredients like we've done in the past. Okay, so if we go through the order in which we're actually going to use it, or use the ingredients, then the first thing we'll need is a couple of onions. Medium-sized onions. They've got to be finely chopped, well, chopped up anyway. We put those to one side. To the onions you add a little bit of chili, which is very lazy chili. So it's basically chili chopped up already. And then you'll need some bacon. Now this is streaky bacon, or streaky bacon rashers. You probably need about 3 rashers of streaky bacon, which you will chop up. That's that. You need some thyme. With thyme, it's always worth giving it a sniff. That gives you a rough idea of how much to actually use. You'll need some potatoes, probably about 4 potatoes. They've got to be cubed, and what we'll do is we'll boil them for about 5 minutes so they don't go too soft. Otherwise, when you put them in the pan, they'll turn to mush after a while. So that's the potatoes. You need some chicken oxo. Well, 1 cube of that. You need a couple of green peppers. You probably need 1.5 of these, because what I'm actually cooking is a meal for 2. So these ingredients are sort of roughly for 2 people. So we need a couple of those. And you'll also need a small tin of corned beef. This is just normal corned beef. It's not reduced salt or anything. So one of the things we do with corned beef hash is not add any salt. So that's the corned beef, and we use rice. This is basically Tesco long grain rice, which we cook in a steamer for about 25 minutes. I'll show you how to do that. Just need about 2 mugfuls of that, 1 per person. So that's long grain rice. And that is the ingredients we're going to use. So let's move on to how we're actually going to prepare all these ingredients to put in the pot. Okay, we're going to start with the onions. Basically just top and tail them. So they're not really finely chopped, they're just chopped. Okay, that's the last bit of onion. Put that on a plate, and it's time to clear down the decks. We're just going to clear down the decks before we start on the bacon. Right, the next bit is the bacon, and what we're going to do here is just cut it up with a pair of scissors. It's a lot easier. We need about 3 whole rashers. It normally comes off in like little strips. I need one more after that. So I cut this up with a pair of scissors. A bit messy. Sound of a pair of scissors. I think as of tomorrow we can actually go out and get a haircut now. So that'll be good. At the moment I look like the old man of the woods. Okay, the next bit is now the peppers. So we've got 2 peppers, a bowl, break the stalks off. Various ways of cutting these up. Let's grab these things out of the way. Just cut this bit off here. This bit off here. Start cutting it out here. Board has been cleaned off after the bacon. Okay, that's enough pepper. Put that to one side. Right, the next bit is corned beef. Okay, with the corned beef you just want to sort of not mash it up completely, but just the corned beef you just got to sort of break it down into lumps. Really. break on me before, and they're a pain in the bottom to actually get the tins out. We're just going to break this down. Okay, that's pretty much done for the corned beef. Put that to one side. Right, the last, well, it's not quite the last bit for the preparation side is we're going to do some potatoes. Potatoes are going to go into a pot of water, which will then go on the hob. Now, first thing to do is peel them. Right, what we're going to do here is cube them. Cut them into little cubes. Well, the cubes have got to be about the size of, well, I'll show you. A bit bigger than a thumbnail, I guess. Okay, that is potato done. So what we're going to do with the potato, I'm not going to video boiling a pan of water. Basically you bring this to the boil and then you just let it simmer for about 5 minutes, or let it boil for about 5 minutes, and then you take it off the hob. If you overcook these, then they'll turn to mush when you put them in the frying pan. Okay, I'll put that to one side. Last thing is the rice. Basically, I use a mug of rice per person. So if there's 2 of us, which there is, then that's 1 person. That's 2 persons. Now this goes in a steamer. Now obviously the steamer varies between different makes and manufacturers, but at the end of the day a steamer just steams, so it doesn't have any heat settings. So what I do is I boil some water, just cover the rice with the boiled water, and then I put it in the steamer and let it run for 25 minutes, and that's your rice done. Right, we're now ready to start putting everything together. So what we're going to start off with is put a bit of oil, or what I tend to use is something like cooking, or this is actually what is it? Crisp and dry. I'm going to put some of that in here. I don't need too much, but we need enough to cook the onion initially, but bearing in mind that the bacon is actually going to produce quite a bit of fat. So we start that off. I'm going to set it on 4. Okay, so we are crisp and dry, it's starting to melt. Right, we're just going to let that oil heat up a bit. Right, the first thing that needs to go in is the onion. Probably got the camera on the wrong side here. It's a bit late to change it now. So you want to stir that around. Basically you want to cook this until it softens up. Now before it gets too soft, we want to add a little bit of chilli. Now you don't want to add too much of this stuff because it's quite hot. So probably about that much. You can see that. It's the Centellinian thing, adding chilli to corned beef hash. Right, stir that all in. Right, we're going to add a bit of bacon now. Mix it well in. Initially bacon will just stick together, stick to itself, but as soon as it starts to cook it will separate. It does take a while to cook, so you've got to be patient with this. You want the bacon to sort of look a bit more brown than it does at the moment. If you look at that, it's sort of still very pink. We don't want pink. Alright, it's time to add some potato to this. So what we want to do is turn this down to about 3. And the potato which we chopped up earlier, put that in. Probably about enough actually, don't want too much. That'll do. Now we turn the heat down, so we want that going for about 15 minutes. This is why you don't cook potato or boil the potato for very long, because 15 minutes in here, if you overboil the potato, it will just turn to mush. And that's not what you want. Right, next bit is to add some thyme. As I said earlier, always give thyme a sniff, because that gives you an idea of how much to put in. Because if it smells really strong, put less in. If it doesn't smell so strong, put a bit more in. But that's probably about right for medium smelling thyme. If you notice, I don't measure things too much. I just put it in. Right, the next thing to go in is an OXO cube. So I'm going to get one OXO cube. I suppose I should have opened this earlier because they can be little so-and-sos to open sometimes. Right, what you want to do here is just break it up. Take that bit off as well. Okay, so no more tin foil on there. Break it up and just sprinkle it in. This is chicken OXO. Right, stir that in. Now we just need a little bit of pepper in here, not too much. That'll do. Right, these go in the mix. Mix it all in together. Don't forget that we're actually on 3 at the moment on the ring. We'll turn it up a bit. When we put the corned beef in. Right, time for the corned beef to go in. So we're going to put this up to 4. Put some corned beef in. The rice will be ready in about 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Okay. Break it up. Once the rice is done, we're going to take this off the heat and sort the rice out and the bread. Then we'll put it on some plates and eat it. Yum yum. You can't beat a bit of St. Helena corned beef hash. Look at that. I want to get the light on it. Okay, well, I hope you all enjoyed the video on cooking corned beef hash. Unfortunately, as you probably noticed, the battery died on the camera right at the end when there was about a minute to go, so I couldn't actually film dishing it up and putting it on the rice. So I ended up by having to take a photo of it once I dished it up. Unfortunately, cooking food waits for no man, so I didn't have the chance to run up and get another camera or to change the battery. So it is what it is. I'll learn next time. I'll put fresh battery in before each take. If you want to see, or if you want to get notifications of all the future videos that I'll be producing, then please hit the subscribe button below. I've also put up a link to my previous video, making a farmhouse loaf, which was also my first video. This is my second. So if you want to learn how to do that or see how I do it, then please check it out. Thank you again, and hopefully see you next time. Bye for now.